Go right into our next session. So next up, we have part 2 of our morning breakout. What can your finger tell about your health? With Thomas Voigt, CEO and president of KareWheel LLC. Thomas, so glad you could be with us today. The virtual stage is all yours.
Okay. Everybody, good morning at first. I hope you can see me and hear me. Alison, can you hear me too?
I sure can. You are good to go.
Okay, super. So let's say after the good morning, I would like to know, normally I hate COVID-19. I can tell you, I would love to be in one room and motivate you, because think about this. You're waking up, or you woke up this morning, how you feeling? How do you know that you are ready for the day? Did you know that your finger could tell you something? How good you are passing COVID-19, how good you are fit for your work today. But I believe if you're driving the car, you know more about your car than about your body. Isn't this correct? If you're starting your car, you know when the next service will be, what about your tire pressure and all this. But what do you know really about your body? So, and now I have to share the screen here and hope I'm getting immediately the right part. So let's see. I think you can see my presentation, correct?
Correct.
Super. So what can your finger tell about your health? A lot. So that was it. No. What I want to tell you is, so I sensitized you a little bit. You're measuring all the day. If you're starting your car, what about your engine in a car? But what is about your own engine, your body? So who of you is really aware how fit you are? And with COVID-19, we are in a special situation, right? You want to know that you don't have any disease, that your temperature is not rising. And think about, normally if you go to your annual, to the doctor, you get one shot in a year for your blood pressure, you have your heart rate, and then with this point in the universe, your doctor said, oh, you're healthy, thank you very much, and you pay a lot of money. Is that correct? That is stupid. Any mathematician knows 1 point in a vector, 1 point in the whole room, your vector can be 360 degrees. What it tells you, 1 point? Nothing. So that's where we are coming a little bit. And what I want to sensitize you at first is, if you see the financial bus, so COVID-19, wearable devices, and we are talking a little bit about, at first, about the market, about sensor technology. I'm a little bit guilty that you are in a digital world. So 40 years ago, I developed for the telecommunication, the semiconductors, LEDs, detectors on the other side. So, and then I joined Siemens in Germany, a big company, and developed digital healthcare. So, and here in Pittsburgh, I help to push molecular imaging. But you are not aware. Most of you are not really, if they're going under the shower, holding the hand against the glass and getting all the information what your body can tell you. Are you ready? What you should have as a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, what kind of exercise is necessary, or you're sitting 8 hours in front of your computer. How bad is this? So very important. The market was growing also before due to chronic diseases. But COVID-19 shows us much more, that not only body monitors and activity trackers are important. You want to know, what is my temperature? Can I go to a sports event? The Penguins are open again. So do you have the right temperature? Can you go to the Pittsburgh Philharmonics? That is all a question of how continuous you are measuring. So, and wearable devices today, I don't know if you mind, you know, the watch, you know, have maybe a wristband, but Do you really know what your blood pressure is, what your oxygen level is, what's really important in COVID-19, your temperatures on the skin? So what, if you have diabetes too, what's your cholesterol level, your heart rate, how you're sleeping? Do you know how many percentage your let's say, deep sleep is? That all sensors can tell you this. The question is, are you open for data awareness? And will you change your behavior if you see something that tells you you have not the healthiest lifestyle? So the wearable market in 2019 was nearly $33 billion. And from 22, the next 5 to 10 years, we have a growth rate between 16 and 20%. Think about this, the advantages. And as the first sensor I developed, the LED, oh, that was a few millimeters and cost a few $1,000s. Today, thousands of a cent, and you cannot see sometimes the LED anymore. So what is COVID-19 as an example? You have fever. How do you know that you have fever? You're measuring 1 point. Okay, maybe you came just out of the shower, hot shower or whatever, and now you, oh my God. But what about continuous measurement? How do you know what was your temperature in the night, during the day? What was the last 2 days? Because if you come to an event or whatever, they want to know 48 hours. Do you know something? Do you have the opportunity to meet your children, your grandchildren, or the opposite? So that you know, I'm healthy and I'm not spreading out. I'm not one of the super spreaders. So your body temperature is one of the issues. And how easy is it to measure if you would have a device around your wrist or your fingers and it tells you all the time what your temperature is? Isn't this normal? If you're driving a car, you know all the time your tire pressure. Why is it not that we are paying a little bit more attention to our bodies? So, and you know, if you have 1 point of body temperature, age, gender, activities, they can change. Do you want not to see it in a holistic picture? So the reason for tracking is really, you don't want to have 1 point a day. You want to monitor and you want to know trends. Trends are the issue. You want to know early indications. And so what is very important, this market is so big. Think about all the variables. And maybe you heard about in CMU, we have a prof there, also from Munich, and you hear my accent, I'm from Germany. So we are developing all of the sensors on the t-shirt and all this, so that you have it. And then comes the wristband. $16 billion from 40 billion is all for the watches and the wrist. And then the ring, that is the newest what's coming. Small, you don't have to put it off. You're not feeling it. You can go swimming and all the activities, nothing happened. So, and that's what I want to talk to you. If we are coming back, so where to measure? There is an opportunity. Sure, you can have all the, you know, the Apple Watch, you know, the Google Fitbit, you know, the Garmin, and maybe you heard all about the BioStrap. Then there's no screen, nothing. You have a strap measuring all this and you see your data and what we heard about cloud and all this. So the data in the cloud, algorithm coming, and then you see it on your cell phone. So, and there's another new generation, and that's where I want to focus you. Rings. Rings can measure all of the blood oxygen with LEDs. I told you before in the telecommunication, LEDs are 40 years old, but now LEDs are so intensive. And mind, if you have a car, a modern car, you can be blind if you're looking direct into LEDs, right? So, and these LEDs can tell you a lot. And I want to come a little bit more to this. So why to measure the finger? Let's say this, because we're coming what we can measure on the finger. The finger, like the ear, is the most sensitive part. You have the bloodstreams very close. The wrist is the worst part to measure, for example, blood oxygen. A finger is close to your blood oxygen, and the women know which finger is the most sensitive if they're putting the creams and all this on. So we men, we are a little bit stupid in this case. But I can tell you, the finger has the blood streams. And if you have sensors on your finger, you maybe don't know that the red and the infrared LEDs can go through. So you're measuring not in reflection, you're measuring really in throughput your real oxygen value. And the same you can do with the temperature, very concrete. So now the question was really, think about and sensitize yourself a little bit. How much do you really know about your health performance, and what do you know about your car? And where's the value? Is your car a higher value than your body? I have to look a few. I don't know if I see some real pictures here and can look into the faces, and you may be smiling or saying, oh, stupid, I don't want to know my health performance. But I can tell you, your kids today, born today, they have 120 years of life expectation. And your kids also, if they are maybe 18, 20, like my kids, they will tell you they want to live much healthier. They want to know what they're eating. So, and the generation today is much more open for the sensor technology. So, and the other question is, you're going to sports events, right? And you see the scoring and all this. So now the question is, and you know, in sports, you're measuring and then you can improve. But what about us? Do we have a daily, weekly, or monthly goal in our health performance? Do we measuring anything and seeing that we are improving? Do you want to see that you are improving? Do you want to see that you have a life that is healthy and energized for the next 50 years? That's a question, right? And my philosophy is, what you can't measure, you can't change to improve. Think about this. So now we are coming back. What can a finger really tells you? So real-time measurement is possible today. So I told a little bit about LEDs. The most, and you have maybe the newest Apple Watch and you see, oh, they have all the blood oxygen. But you know, in how many cases your blood oxygen said, sorry, failure, oh. So because you have stray light by the wrist is not really good. You're measuring in reflection, you cannot go in throughput by the wrist, not good. If you have a ring, so you are close, that is like your life in the first row in a theater or in the sports event. Your sensors measuring, making contact to your bloodstreams, and you're getting in throughput with the red and infrared LEDs, your blood oxygen. In reflection, you're getting also the blood oxygen, but maybe not so good, more noisy. But the green can help you also in the PPG waveform to understand really what's your heart rate. And coming to the skin temperature, you know, everybody wants to know your temperature today if you go to events. But how easy is it? So you can have the forehead. So now I know a few people are in the business sitting in a car cooling that they know, oh, I have a coat, and then they're running to the entrance of the business so that you have 100% the cool temperature. But cheating is not the world. Then you may be a super spreader. So important is you see continuously your measurements. I talked about the heart rate with the green, but your heart rate can also be interesting and showing you, do you have activities? And what is your heart rate with the activities? And maybe you heard about heart rate variability. So let's say you have a heart rate of 60 beats per minute. Will that mean you have every second a beat? No, you would be really unhealthy. You need in the heart rate variability 100 milliseconds of variability. That means your beat comes after 0.9 seconds, then after 1.1 seconds. So you have a few in 100 milliseconds measured. If you are measuring the heart rate variability and it shrinks to 10 milliseconds, you know you're developing something. And it's important. It's an early indication. Another is your blood pressure. How looks your blood pressure? Do you know about this every day? So what about your sleep stages? How are you sleeping? Do you have a good bed? Do you have a nice pillow? Nice, but do you know how many percentage are you in the deep phase? How many percentage is your REM phase? If you don't know it, how can you say I'm healthy? How can you change your behavior? What do you did? Did you had a nice wine before you went to bed? Is that good? Do you know it? All these questions. Excuse me. So then we want to know, what was your goal about activities? Are you sitting 8 hours in front of the computer and that's your health? Is that your lifestyle? So do you want to know over the week how many exercises you did? In order, if you stand up and sit down again, how you're sitting is a good question. How you're burning your calories. All this is, if you are really interested, it's like your car. You always look in your car. Hey, do I have enough oil? What's my tire pressure, right? And maybe you're washing your car nice and all this. But what about you? What is about your body? How much attention you're paying? Critical situations. Let's say you would have a ring and over the clouds, you're sharing this with your children or your grandchildren. If you're falling and you need help, an accelerometer tells you not only when you're exercising, it tells you although you fall and you are not acting, and maybe in conjunction with the heart rate and blood oxygen, there is something that needs immediately help. So who can help you? These continuous measurements and your family members, they can help you. Other indications of health conditions, like not only raising the temperature. For example, you have a heart rate and a low relaxation. What tells you this? And think about the next appointment with your doctor. And you say, oh, come on, we have annual now. But here's my data over weeks and months. I show you what is normal and I have some trends. You tell me, because I'm paying you, you tell me why I have these trends. You should see the face of your doctor. Wow, he is a first-time challenged. So ECG is another one. You know that 3-4 years ago, Apple developed an ECG with their watch. But you can have ECG also on the ring. Unbelievable how small sensors can be and that all is fit into the ring. So now you heard maybe that in the past, I told you, so I developed all the sensors long time ago as everybody was smiling and said, semiconductors, what is it? Why you do this small pieces? We have the tubes and all this. Maybe some of the older people remember the old TVs, the old radios. That was a time, right? You could maybe repair your old things. Today, you can only sit there and have a 7 seals device. But if you have a sensor ring and a ring on your finger, that tells you in real time, all the time, how your health performance looks in a holistic picture. And maybe, and that's what I want, if you have kids or your kids pushing you and saying, did you ever measure, here's my health performance. Look, I'm doing exercising, I'm running. And then you say, why I'm not doing this too? Why are kids paying so much more attention? Maybe they are better educated, but we can do it. And I can tell you, doesn't matter which age you have. If you're starting today, your health will change to the better way. So, and then there is, and we heard this in big data. We are living in a fantastic world. You have the clouds, you have your smart devices. Everybody today has smart devices, right? So, and you see immediately in the clouds, there are algorithms. They're telling you what your health condition is. So, for example, I have here one example. You can see, and you push one of your blood oxygen, you see your blood oxygen level at this moment. You see maybe what kind of exercises you did. You have the over the day, you can make immediately and see what's my week, what's my month's values. So I hope I pushed you a little bit. Next weekend, we have on Saturday Sunshine, I know it. Take your kids and run with them and tell them, do you know how to measure? So, and that's now where I'm coming, and Alison can help me. We have 3 questions for you. So I hope I warmed you up. You are ready. So that's a poll, what we can do here in Zoom. So think about this. The first question is, what would you buy this year? A watch, a wristband, a ring, or nothing? So let's make it. And if nothing, think about how you measure your health. I would love to know. Okay, let's come. Do we have, Alison, how much time we want to give them?
It's up to you. We have 11 of 16 people voting right now, so we can stop. We give them about 35 seconds.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Will you push the button stop, or how we want to do this, Alison?
I did stop it, and you should be able to see right now, the attendees at least, on their screen. I'm sharing the poll result.
Okay, great.
Can you see them, Thomas?
And I can get this from you later, or will it go away?
I will get it to you later, yes.
Yes, super. Then we are coming to the second question. So the second question, that is, I taught you a little bit, let's see how we are doing this, Alison, to come to the second question.
You tell me when you're ready and I will launch it.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. It is on the screen for our attendees, and it is, would you like to see the health metrics of your family members?
Because think about this. A lot of people today, due to COVID and all this, they may be alone at home. They cannot visit you immediately. Or you are in a special living center in Florida. Wow, super, huh? But would you like to share a little bit? And maybe you get a reminder, hey, you were not out today, and I know you had sunshine outside. Why you are not going out? So it's interesting. You have a little bit different society if you share it with your family members. Okay, so Alison, I think that's great results, right?
Yes.
Super. Now we are coming to question number 3.
Here we go.
So we have a little bit the question how concerned, because you heard about before, nah? We have the clouds, we have in healthcare, we have HIPAA standards, but you never know, some people may be hacking into your data. How much concerned you are if you're sharing your health data and have it in your portal. So I can tell you, it's interesting that a lot of people are concerned. So that is where we have to work on in the big data, and in case with the FDA, that if you should know, if we have it in the clouds, you are the owner of the data, nobody else, and you telling your doctor if he can see the data or not. The same as you're telling only who can share with you. That you should know. But I see there's a lot of marketing to work on, because 7 people are still concerned and 3 are strong concerned. That means 60% of you would not share. On the other hand, with family members maybe, but you see here that you have concerns. Alison, thank you very much. I have one more slide. So can we put this away, or I can put it like this? So I will go here through. Let's see. Do I have still access to change my slides?
You should, yeah. I closed the poll and you should be able to continue sharing your slides. I can still see them on my screen.
Yes, so we had the questions. That is my thank you slides. So I don't know where you are in Zoom times. You don't know. I can only say Dankeschön in Germany or thank you in English. And if you are really excited to learn more, please contact me or my CFO, Joe, and my whole team is available. We are always here at PTC, and we look forward to give you a little bit more input, what is possible and how can you get it. I hope that was good. We are nearly by the end of the time, and I highly appreciate that you took the time and shared a little bit what we had to say, what your finger can say. And hopefully, you see, this here, for the woman, they know that is the most sensitive finger. I have my ring here. So please use whatever. But the ring is the best to measure. But use measurements and think next morning if you're waking up, what you want to know, why you are ready, or are you ready for the day? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We have a couple complimentary comments in the chat saying it was interesting and thank you. It was terrific. Enjoyed your enthusiasm for the topic. You're right. We all need to learn more. If anybody has any questions, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left. So we'll leave the chat open for a second. And in the meantime, I will give you a reminder that from 11 to 12 today, we have the technology showcase going on. So please take some time to head over there and chat with our event sponsors and hear from DQE, Risk Focus. Our other sponsors will be in their booths to connect with you and answer questions. And then don't forget to join us today at noon for Business as Usual. We're featuring 3 companies from our Canadian delegation who will be discussing their technologies, and you can access that separate registration in Sked. And while I gave my spiel, Thomas, we did not have any other questions come in, so I think you're off the hook for right now. But thank you for being here. Thank you all for joining us for breakout session number 1, and enjoy the rest of Beyond Big Data.
So measure, measure, measure.